nurses to go and pick blueberries on the weekend as a part of a clinical ladder project? You want nurses with all their 5011 degrees and letters after their name to go and harvest blueberries for free under the guise of it can help them with their clinical ladder advancement project? No. Baby, no. No. If you are short farmers, let's think of why. And do you really think that we have extra nurses in the hospital that are going to just have time to go pick some damn blueberries? Like, y'all didn't think this through. Y'all really did not think this through. If you have not seen the sign going around that hospital that nurses can go and harvest 20,000 blueberries on the weekend, go check it out and tap in and let me, I can't even talk because I'm just so worked up. Nurses ain't picking no damn blueberries.
A hospital in Jersey put up a flyer asking for nurses to volunteer their time on the weekend to pick and harvest blueberries. They gotta be smoking the finest dope or something. I don't know. I just left my big sister's page because she was talking about this, and she's also a nurse practitioner. So I'm just gonna echo and just add some other stuff onto what she said. It wasn't enough that we had to work real hard to get a nursing degree. It's not enough that we bust our behinds working and taking care of patients, not getting adequate breaks, burnout, stress. Some of us have a lot of anxiety, depression because COVID and everything else. You asked me to volunteer my time on the weekend to pick and harvest blueberries as some advancement for a clinical ladder project? Y'all need to go and just find something else better to do and find somebody else to play with, because nurses is not the ones. And I don't even know why anybody would think that this was okay to post or put up a flyer in a hospital and do. Like, get somebody else to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, how are you? I'm hoping that you are doing great. From wherever you watch me from, as you know, I'm your host and presenter, Generic Stories. There's something that I want to discuss with you that I feel like it's really important for us to have these discussions. Remember, blueberry farmers are now asking Black people and generally nurses to leave what they're doing to go and work on their farms. It's like people are not learning from the mistakes that they made. Remember, we had initially the first group of farmers that wanted Black people to go and work on their farms. But Black people didn't want to work on their farms because it's not that they don't really want to work, but Black people are demanding like something which is rightful, something which is for them. Because these farmers has an history with having an exploitative type of relationship with those immigrants that works on those farms. And so as a result, I feel like it's not easier for Black people to come and work on these farms because they are not ready to work for all that poor wage that they are being offered. And remember, the United States, especially white farmers, has an history of having a lot of expectations from Black people. The double standards of them wanting Black people to, one, forcefully work for them, two, work for them at a cheaper labor. And it's like they're demanding, we need you to come and work on our farms, because it means that what you're doing doesn't make sense to them. You need to leave what you're doing and come work in their farms. And so I agree with Black people because I also find this problematic. How can you come on somebody's space and start demanding that you want them to work for you without giving any reason? And remember, the working conditions that these immigrants used to work, it was really substandard. And they used the advantage that first they don't have documents that show that they legally belong to the United States. And so they use this advantage because they cannot report this to any person or to any institution because they don't have the rights to report. In as much as this is against human rights, but they didn't have the right to report. Black people have realized their worth, and they have always known their worth. And so this is misunderstood when Black people don't want to go and work on those farms, because to them they think that, oh, you lazy, you don't want to go and work in those farms. But right now, you are demanding nurses and Black people to go and pick blueberries. It is problematic because this is a group of people that know their right. This is a group of people that don't want to work for you because you are used to exploitative measures of getting something out of people. And so black people won't be part of that. They don't want to be part of that. And I agree with my black folks who are watching this video. And I'm really, really proud of them. Those people who are coming out and saying no to all this craziness. Everyone is trying to push to them. Every farmer wants a black person to go and work on their farm. And I say this is crazy because you are a person who knows your right. You know what's right for you. Majority of black people are complaining that what is being offered is a bare minimum. You can't do nothing with it. And so it is not like they don't want to work on these farms, but it is these farmers have to have measures that has the capacity of, accommodating all the ones that they have. That's all they're asking. So if you're watching this video for the first time, I'll ask you to subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get your account for you. And for those who are watching us for the first time, man, I'm asking you to subscribe to the channel, join our membership, and really get your account for you. So let's get into it. I'll be back with my commentary as usual. Let's get into it.
What up, black folks? Blueberries. We need help picking blueberries. Man, y'all hear about this shit? A hospital in Philadelphia posted a flyer asking nurses to pick blueberries on their free time on the weekends for free. Gonna help them get a promotion or a ladder or some shit, I guess in nurses terminology, a step up to go out on the weekend and pick blueberries. You heard that dumb shit? These people that went to college for no telling how many hours or years or whatever to attain that degree, and these monkey motherfuckers got the nerve to put up a flyer asking them on their free time to go pick blueberries. And we know what it's about. Immigration. Them motherfuckers ain't got nobody to pick them blueberries. And they gonna die in the fields. Because black folks ain't picking shit ever again. Ancestors won't allow it. So yeah, man, and them nurses ain't going out. I don't even believe they had the gumption or the gall to even post that shit in a hospital. Asking nurses to pick blueberries on their free time on the weekends. Woo! Yeah, y'all, this the bullshit we dealing with, man. We got a fucking idiot running the most powerful nation, supposedly, in the world. And we got a bunch of dumb motherfuckers surrounding him. And then we got another bunch of dumb motherfuckers out here in America that can't read or do any critical thinking, that keeps putting this dumb motherfucker, him, and his ilk back in office. But yeah, back to them damn strawberries or blueberries. Them motherfuckers will be dead on the vine before a nurse goes out there and pick them. You can believe that shit. Please.
A friend sent me this. You're not going to believe it. This great clinical ladder opportunity. Great clinical ladder opportunity. You ready? You ready? Because I think this ladder only goes down. Volunteers needed for blueberry harvesting. For weekday mornings in July. Sign up there for a great clinical ladder improvement opportunity. And it says it's blueberry season and we need help. Join us for this meaningful volunteer opportunity throughout July as we harvest blueberries to give to our neighbors facing hunger. You will be helping to save a bumper crop of blueberries from going to waste. There are up to 20,000 pounds of blueberries that they need. Shifts available all month long as a clinical ladder opportunity to harvest fucking blueberries. This was posted at a hospital. Where is this clinical ladder? Where does this fall on the nursing clinical ladder? Where does this fall under any clinical ladder? Is this part of the 36 million able-bodied Americans on Medicaid that are going to be doing this? Was this for those patients that are in the hospital to harvest blueberries? So they want you to work at the hospital, work your shifts, probably overtime after they harvest you, and go harvest blueberries as a clinical ladder opportunity. Where do you turn that into HR? And how many bushels of blueberries that you harvest move you up the clinical ladder? How?
please say psych right now. I didn't know the person that actually sent this to me. Like, I would not believe it. At their request, I took off the QR code so it wouldn't be targeted. But that's it. Blueberry harvesting is now a clinical ladder opportunity because they have a bumper crop, so they're going to recruit healthcare workers to do it. I'm speechless. I didn't think that it could get worse, but it got worser. Like, it got worser. What, who? Chime in. I want to hear from nurses. Chime in on this.
Listen, the perimenopausal rage I have deep inside me right fucking today is not a good time for me to come across a TikTok that's saying that a hospital system in New Jersey wants nurses to volunteer their time to go pick blueberries. Let me tell you the ways in which I will tell you to go fuck yourself. Take your clinical ladder and shove it up your fucking ass with the blueberries. I just wiped a blueberry off some granddaddy's ass. You think I'm gonna go pick one? You have got me fucked up. This why I'm a PRN princess. I want your health insurance. I don't want your benefits. I don't want your stupid fucking clinical ladder. I want your PRN pay. I want to make my own fucking schedule, and I want you to suck a corporate dick. Okay? Because I swear to God, if I saw that in my hospital system, I would be a stripper. I would march my crazy happy ass right on down to that CEO's office with my associate's, bachelor's, and half of a master's degree and my certifications and tell him to eat a bag of Richards. A whole fucking bag. In fact, I'd supply him said bag of Richards. Are they out of their mind? This clearly, listen, how about this? I'll pick blueberries at the very minute this fucktard of a president of ours goes out there and picks some with me. We'll do that. I'll pick blueberries the very second that fucktard orangutan man decides he doesn't want to throw humans to alligators. Now, if you're wondering why I am so worked up about this, all I can tell you is, number one, I have autism and injustice sensitivity runs red hot. Number two, I'm about to start my period and I'm perimenopausal and I think the moon is actually full. So all things are coming together for me to get actually butthurt over something that doesn't affect me right now. Could it affect me someday? It might. And in that case, I'll really be pissed. But right now, it's not really affecting me, but it's enough to chat my ass. And I don't fucking care. And I know somebody's going to be in the comments being like, oh, if you're so angry, you should quit your job. I would like to quit America. Is that an option? No? Okay, then go eat it. Eat those blueberries. Now, here's the thing. If it was just volunteering our time, and we didn't just, lock up half of the farm workers in this country, if it was just like helping a local farm out before we, as a country, decided to lock up all of the immigrant criminals, well, it'd be a different story. It's not that I'm not afraid to go help. I volunteer my time for my clinical ladder, but not for the fucking government. Nope. How about this? You let some of them people that you put in the concentration camps, you let them go. They want. Matter of fact, let them go. Put them in your job that you suck at, and we'll rule the world. This is a pinky and a brain moment right now. Here's the thing. I didn't validate that. I didn't validate the whole story. I might be full of shit. I might be pulling it out of my ass, and TikTok fooled me again. But that's where we're at in this world, where I would see something like that and be like, yup, that sounds like some shit healthcare CEOs would do. That sounds like some bullshit in this country. That's where we're at. Where I don't even have to validate the dumb shit for it to actually be a possibility. But let me tell you one more fucking time in case it wasn't clear. What I'm not about to do is be free labor because the orange orangutan man fucked up. It's not happening. I'll die on that hill. You can't fucking make me. Hell, I can't even make me do half the shit I'm supposed to do, and I'm in my own body. Fuck around and find out. You, sir, made a whole lot more people more sick, and you're going to try and get free labor out of the people that are going to attempt to keep the people alive when you're trying to actively kill them. Are you outside of your fucking mind? Why don't you take that on down to your golf club and have the rich good old boys go pick some blueberries? I really feel that's good. That's reparations. That would be reparations for the enslaving of an entire race picking cotton. Go pick some blueberries, rich white boys. This is a perfect time for you to fucking have a little bit of karma coming back to get you. Anyway, I gotta drive. It's raining. I'm pissed. Wait, time out. Before I piss off the people that I love, just let me just say, I am not the keeper of reparations. I think that'd be a cool reparation, but I'm just a white chick. I don't own the reparations. I think, but If that's something that you'd be into for reparations, I would support that. Just round all the rich white guys up and make them go do manual labor. I will support you in that. I'll support you in whatever reparations you want, honestly. That was just an idea. But it ain't my reparations. I just want to put that out there. Don't come for me in those comments. Please don't stitch that shit. Context is everything. And I think, generally speaking, all of us really fucking hate white rich guys right now. They're like, literally, the worst part of America is a rich white man. I'm sure some MAGA fucker is going to say something about that shit. Ask me if I care! I don't. No, don't ask me how we got from blueberries to reparations to hating rich white people. I don't fucking know. This brain is no longer medicated with ADHD medicine because I don't want to sell my soul to the corporate devil and corporate healthcare anymore. I'm a PRM princess. I don't get health insurance. And I'm certainly not going to do it for blueberries. See, there we go. Full circle. Boom.
I read this article, and it says that they got hate after D.L. Hughley posted, which is after I posted it. I got that flyer from a friend who pulled it from the center where she works, exactly like that. I checked the QR code, and it works. It does not name the farm until you actually sign up, and in order to sign up, you have to put your name and all that good stuff, and I did not do that. So I didn't even know the name of the farm, because the link still works. It takes you to this. It says it's active, mellow work, and this is what it gives the description. This is what it says. The vibe is physical, outdoors, busy. And in location, it just gives that, and it says sign up to see exact location. This is all the information I had. So I never named a farm, and the QR code on that flyer that I blacked out, as far as I saw, didn't name a farm. But as you can see, the circle top, I'm trying to block out the address because I don't want them to get, people signing up to not show up. But it goes through fulfill, which is exactly what the flyer says it's going to do. So how the person in this article got hate, if they got it, it didn't come from me, and it didn't come from the flyer that I posted, unless somebody found an unscrambled QR code and then signed up and then found the location. But I'm not doing that. I thought it was ridiculous that was posted as a clinical ladder opportunity through Fulfill. And somebody else in another comment section mentioned that the head of Fulfill is head of the Republican Party somehow in that state. So that part makes sense. And that probably had a tie to the hospital, if I was to guess, at how all of that ended up at a facility. But the person told me exactly what facility it's in and what hospital system. And they asked me to black it out because they had been vocal at their place of work about how ridiculous it was. And again, this is somebody I know in real life. So whatever hate this got through to that farm, I never pointed to it. I couldn't even tell you if it is correct, because I didn't get any further than just making sure the QR code went to Fulfill, went to that. And like I said, I blacked it out so that they wouldn't have people signing up not to be there. Like, I blacked it out to prevent exactly that from happening. So I don't know. Like, I don't know how somehow it got to that farm. Now, I didn't expect my video to go very far, because my videos don't go far. The last thing I expected is fucking D.L. Hughley to post it on Instagram, because somebody said they saw me on Instagram, and I'm like, what the fuck, I'm not on Instagram anymore. And once it gets there, Lord only freaking knows. But I tried. I blacked out the code, and I wouldn't have shared it if I didn't know exactly where it came from. But if the entire flyer was fake, I'll say that, then why does the QR code go to Fulfill, which is who the clinical ladder says that it's with? Why would it do that? Why would somebody create a fake flyer, post it all around the hospital for people to find it, get outraged with a link that functions, a link to sign up, and a link through the organization that says it goes through the organization that the clinical ladder is through? And if it wasn't something the hospital supported, don't you think somebody in admin walking around the hallways would have looked and said, what the fuck is this, and pulled them down? Or sent an email saying that this was sent, we don't know where this came from? Like, don't you think that would have happened? So, I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, the flyer that I received and that I posted checks out. Everything is consistent. The flyer says picking blueberries through fulfill. You scan the QR code, it gives you blueberry pickings through fulfill. It tells you how to sign up. It has times available, and it gives you the location once you sign up. How much more legit can you get? That's what you would do if you saw it in the hospital, right? And notice in that I linked to where it showed to, it didn't say, it just said you're filling them, putting them in boxes, and putting them on the back of a truck. It says they're going to be donated, but that's a trust me, bro. Truly, it's a trust me, bro. And I don't trust anybody nowadays. So anyway, I just wanted to clear all of that up, because I don't know how much more due diligence, I don't know what red flags that I would have seen. That all seems, the flyer is legit. It may not be that particular farm. I don't know if it is. But the flyer is legit as far as I'm concerned. The link still works. I just checked it.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. Well, I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. Remember during the emancipation, that's in 1865, somewhere around that place, I'm not sure, but you go check it out. During emancipation period, black people were, they had gone through a lot of things, forced labor, and it began with black people working in these farms. And what did this have for them? One, it had nothing. So as a black person who understands their history and where they came from, them demanding for the right things, it is trying from healing all those things that people tried to push to them, right? So black people, remember, they were also promised a couple of things. They were promised land, an acre and a mule, some things that these people did not do. And when you try to look at the relationship between white farmers and black farmers and how white farmers and black farmers interacted, you get to realize that white farmers first, they didn't want to share agricultural knowledge with black farmers. And it's not that black farmers didn't know all this agricultural knowledge. In fact, black farmers had a lot of agricultural knowledge, the know-how, the technocracy of all these activities. Now, due to all these being afraid, they started sabotaging black farms. And you know how this went for black people. Black people lost large masses of land. And so all I'm just saying, trying to call upon black people to come and work on these farms, first, it means that you have to accept that there is some trauma that these has to play with, because you people took lands that belonged to black people. Maybe the blueberries that you want black people to go and pick today, they're the same very farms that you chased black farmers out of them, right? Burn their houses and make them migrate out of this place to look for safety, to go for somewhere else, while you as the person, you did this, right? And so I really find this so problematic. When you try to look at during the Reconstruction period, all the lies that black people were sold, it really comes a point when you get to understand that historically, black people in the United States were subjected to generations of unpaid, coerced labor and institution of slavery, primarily in agricultural settings. After emancipation in 1965, the promise of land autonomy through Reconstruction was quickly undercut by systems like sharecropping, Jim Crow segregation, and discriminatory New Deal's era policies. These structures, you need to get to understand that they were designed not only to economically disadvantage black communities, but also to tie them to circles of agricultural dependence under white control. Thus, for black Americans, agricultural labor has been associated with exploitation, poverty, and systemic racism. The same very thing that I'm trying to explain to you. Anytime that you're trying to force something that black people don't want to do you don't want them to do according to their terms, that means that you're trying to push what the oppressor was trying to do, and that was so many decades ago, right? But the same footprints, the same footsteps are the same ones that these people are trying to follow right now. Also, I'd like to talk about the 20th century that saw a significant migration of Black Americans out of rural South to northern and western cities in what is known as the Great Migration. One of the key reasons for shift was to escape from brutal condition of failed labor and racial terrorism that accompanied it. I explained to you that white farmers, white people generally during those times, they started sabotaging black farmers. And how did they do this? They start setting fires the houses that black people lived. They start setting fires on black farms and burning down black crops. And what was the solution that black people were left with? Black people were left with the solution of just running away, trying to find a solution to all these problems. And so you came to understand how all these unraveled and the truth, how now you understand how these can be traumatic to black people, trying to force them to come back, work on these farms that belong to them. And some people even know that their ancestors had these lands and they belonged to them, right? Talking about that. Today, many descendants of those migrants are nurses, engineers, educators, and small business owners. Asking them to abandon that hard-earned progress to return to the fields is not only insulting, but it's also historically regressive. And that's what you need to understand, right? Fact. This is the fact that the black nurses who work tirelessly during pandemics are underfunded. Healthcare system should leave their roles to pick blueberries. This reflects a deep disconnect between the white agricultural class and the lived realities of black professionals. This suggestion disregards the sacrifices, right? Training, generational resilience that black people have invested in escaping manual labor in a caste-defined occupation. The labor shortage among white farmers is not a justification for resurrection of imagery of black field laborers to save their crops. Also, in addition to that, you need to understand that this has exposed the underlying racial and economic hierarchies which are still present in the United States, in how they see black people, in how they want to carry black people. They still want black people to work for them by paying them peanut amount of money. And this shows you, and this reflects how they still perceive black people, right? Instead of addressing their dependency on exploitative labor, many white farmers resist reforming wages, improving work conditions, or offering equitable employment incentives that might attract a voluntary workforce. Their presence is often for desperate, racialized labor, whether from undocumented immigrants, prisoners, or, in this case, black Americans, who, in fact, they believe can be lured or coerced into undesirable work under poor conditions. There's a deep irony in this narrative. Remember that the very, very systems they have marginalized black people economically are now reliant on them for the survival, yet no offer redress or respect. The same country that has denied equitable access to land ownership, healthcare, and capital for black communities now appeals to those very people to rescue its food supply chains. This reveals not solidarity, but utilitarianism, a view of black labor as a reserve force to be called upon only in crisis, then discarded. Right? Now, in black people rejecting all these, black people are asserting a powerful form of historical and political memory. And I think that we need to also understand this. They are refusing to be dragged back into roles that historically represented subjugation and servitude. This resistance is not laziness, as some people say. This resistance, as some claim, it's a conscious refusal to repeat the cycles of exploitation. It's an act of dignity and a declaration that their labor, skills, and autonomy are not to be taken for granted or to be used to patch up economic failures who never supported their liberation. And I think that's need to be understandable. Also, one thing you need to understand is that Black refusal to engage in such labor without justice or ownership opportunities represents a demand for structural change. Many Black thinkers, such as Dr. Cloud Anderson, in his works like Powernomics, have advocated for Black-owned of farmland, processing plants, distribution networks, and not a return to failed labor for white profit. The goal is economic sovereignty, not subservience. I think you need let to us understand that. Now, the crisis in agriculture is not the fault of Black people. It is the result of decades of underinvestment in fair labor practices, mechanism avoidances, and the systemic racism. The U.S. farming system has leaned heavily on exploited labor. First African slaves, then Asians, indentured workers, and now undocumented Latino immigrants. When the labor dries up, instead of restructuring, the idea attempts to revert to the past. This is not just sustainable, nor is it just. Right? Also, the idea that nurses or other educated Black professionals should abandon their fields during a national shortage of healthcare workers is particularly absurd. Nurses are critically needed in underserved Black and rural communities. Their work saves lives and represents one of the few sectors where Black women especially have carved out professional space. And redirecting that talent to agriculture not only arms the health systems but devalues their professional status and economic mobility. Right? Now, the demand also underscores a continuing white American inability to take responsibility for its own labor needs. Rather than incentivizing rural white youth or investing in labor rights for migrants, many cling to fantasy that Black labor can once again be summoned at will. This fantasy must be confronted and dismantled if America is to truly progress beyond its plantation past. I really want to know what you think about this, because this is problematic, this is diabolical, because the same people that you destroyed their economic activity are the same very people that you want them to come and help and salvage your sinking ship. I mean, it's not easy for them to do that. You need to understand. And you can't just wake up in the morning and devalue the work of a person. Black people have ventured into nursing and other professionals that is highly needed, especially in the Black community. And so you taking part of that, it's really problematic. I really want to know what you think about this video. As you know, I'm your host and presenter, Chintok Stories. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salam.